Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. Today we'll be looking at another Tesuji that I saw watching an AI game on FoxGo server. The AI in this game is fine art, giving 2 stones to the Chinese professional Huang Chengqi. Hopefully I said that close to accurate, but regardless, what's important is the go, so let's take a look at it. This is the board position. White had just invaded the upper right, and black played pretty simply. Even when white Hane here, black just connects, and it's because black is not alive in the center. If white's able to surround the center somehow, again, don't know the best way, but let's just say it's surrounded. Even though black has this free move here, black can't live. If black goes here, white can push, and go here. And even though black can take, that's a false sign. Gotta remember, capturing 2 stones is a false sign. So that wouldn't be alive. If black goes here, same sort of thing. Push, as it becomes the same thing. But you get the idea, is that this group is not alive. It's not alive. Yeah. How did I do this one? Yeah. This one, I played the wrong way. White should go here first. Yes. I got my variations confused. But just know that, yeah, black needs to be careful, which is why black chose a very simple variation in the upper right to avoid any complications. And keeping that in mind, though, that means moves like this are going to be sente. It means black will have to connect somehow, and this sort of move will become apparent in a second. It also, this move here, white also has this move in sente, because if black ignores, white's able to Hane and actually capture the stones here. So that means this move is also sente. So they weren't played in the game, but we're going to assume this sort of move is sente and this sort of move is sente, just for the sake of simplicity. So I'm just going to keep them on the board for now, just to simplify the actual Tesuji. And the Tesuji is, white is going to try to invade this right side. But where? Where is white going to invade the right side? So white starts with this move, and this move you have to be careful of, because if you don't use this move well, it actually loses you points, because later when white Hane is at S1, you'll see black has to connect at S4. So if this move here gets captured, it's a bad exchange. So white has to use this somehow. And so white's going to use it to either live on the side or cut black off in the lower right. Now, just to go through some variations, if white just pushes down, black can just cover, and when white Hanes, you can see white cannot cut this way. That's just captured. If white Ataris this way, though, white just will not have enough liberties to fight any sort of semi here. Black has a lot of outside liberties with this lower right group. So white would just lose this semi. Just not enough liberties. So this sort of kind of very direct way of playing, just pushing down, does not work. And so maybe you might think to play a little lighter. Black will push, and if white blocks, it'll be the same thing as the last variation. If white extends, though, black connects, and white does not get enough space to live. Like this. White does not get enough space to live, and maybe white can cut and maybe make some sort of shape here. Once again, black has too many liberties. White would just die in this sort of scenario. So even though this move's maybe better, it's not perfect. So if white goes here, it'll be this same variation as the last one, like this. If white peeps here, though, this is another nice way of thinking. But black will just block, and this will negate any sort of moves white can use this S5 stone with. Yes. If white pushes and maybe goes here, black just connects. It's actually, white cannot live locally on the right side. Yeah, it's, even though white can get some extra forcing moves, like with the stone at N13, it's just not great for white. It's just too narrow of a space there. Yeah, and I don't even know if this is the best move here for black. Maybe black can even just extend here. Yeah, maybe something like this even works for black as well, which would be even worse for white. So this sort of peep also really doesn't work. So is there really anything for white there? So at this point, I'll pause here and let's see if you can figure out the Tesuji. And remember, we're trying to either invade the right side or cut off the lower right. We're looking to do two things there. So do you think you see it? Really quickly, I forgot to throw in one more variation, is doing this one. If white goes this way, this of course just doesn't work. If black cuts though, or if white cuts, black can... what's the best way to do this? Maybe even just Atari. If black Atari's this way, white will actually just give up the one stone, which would be good. But if black Atari's this way, you see white actually cannot keep black separated. And this results probably still... Black keeps most of the right side, so this would be a success for black still. So the question is, what is the Tesuji then? What is the Tesuji? Do you think you see it? Do you think you see it? Again, think outside the box here. Think of a move you would normally not play. And my hint is, if you're maybe can't see it, and I kind of say that like, oh wow, you're not going to see it. No, this is a very difficult move to see. It definitely is it's an AI move basically. But my hint for you is, normally you wouldn't want to give your opponent good shape, but in this case it actually is the best move. So where did Fine Art play? Fine Art played here at R8. And without showing any variations, at this point, black actually just resigned. It almost reminds me of like, what is it, the ear-reddening move, or the move that the guy just resigns immediately? Because it's just like, he just immediately just gives up without any sort of attempt to try to thwart this. I guess it's that good of a move. So of course, any normal player without much reading would want to play this move. It gives black good shape. It's a horrible exchange for white locally. But what has changed? This allows white now to go here. And notice black is actually unable to push and cut because this R8 stone is a tiger's mouth. It's a tiger's mouth connection. And even though maybe black can capture this stone, white would connect, and white successfully has cut off the lower right. So this move actually doesn't work. And any sort of move like this, or any move like that, black has to prevent this direct connection at R6. So maybe black extends, just simply extends. Then white's going to play here. And even though black can maybe wedge, when white extends, it's actually too difficult for black now to capture anything, actually. If black just cuts, white can just turn. And white's actually connected as is. I believe, at least. It's just very difficult to keep white from connecting. Once again, moves like this are sente. You got to keep that in mind. White's not going to play them unless white has to, though. So if this moves sente, you can just see it's actually... White's basically already connected. It's very difficult to keep white contained at this point. So if black covers, though, now white's going to peep and connect. And white has now just scooped out the entire right side. If black goes here, though, same sort of thing. White will wedge, create cutting points. Black connects. White will actually push. And again, black can take the floor stones, but white's going to take the lower right, which is enough for white. If black hanes, though, this move is sente. White has to connect. This move sente, hane, and descend. And this is a live shape, I believe. Where even though black can hane, this looks like the shape point, but white is alive after playing here. So white's alive, the lower right is dead. This is probably the best result white could have gotten. And beside that, not really what else. Maybe black just hanes. If black hanes, white will extend. And if black connects, white will then clamp here. Clamp. Maybe black just connects and goes here. It's once again a scenario where white will just make a comfortable base. Maybe white even just goes here. Maybe black can descend though, and would become that scenario where white can go there. So maybe there is a better move here. Maybe just Hane even. Yeah, maybe just even Hane and extend. Yeah, just Hane and extend. It's just black covers, white can extend. Black double Hanes. White can play moves like this, force black to connect. Like something like this. Yeah, that's alive. So yeah, it's just there's just barely enough oddity for white to make anything work, and it's because white has these extra moves here at n5 and here at n13. So the actual game, white just started with this and went here, and then when white attached, black resigned. So this is the board position, but it was just important to keep in mind that white would use these senteis eventually, so it's important to keep those in mind. I always say sentei moves are always sentei, so you don't have to play them. So this is what the board position looked like when black resigned. And one reason why he probably resigned is this was 60-second games. Fine Art plays 60-second games on Fox, and that's 60 seconds 10 times. So it's a very, very, very long games, especially for professionals, or at least for professionals. So black probably had enough time to read that nothing really worked there. So yeah, very, very, very cool move. Very, very cool move, to put it lightly. Again, it's a move you wouldn't normally think of, because when black goes here, it automatically gives black good shape. So just, even though proverbs are good where you don't want to give your opponent good shape, that's why sometimes proverbs were made to be broken. So while proverbs are good, always remember thinking outside the box is number one. Always don't rely on, silly proverbs all the time. You got to think outside the box sometimes. But yeah, very, very, very cool Tesuji. So let me know in the comments if you saw the move. Yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this Tesuji in the video. Leave a comment. I'll be sure to read it as well. But yeah, thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.